All right, go ahead. Start your presentation now, sir.
Okay. So as I was saying, this piece is We Shall Overcome. It's in D flat major, and it's pretty simple. The first measure is just the one chord and the four chord, which is a D flat and an A flat major chords, because it starts with D flat, and then it's got the D flat in the octave, and then it goes up to F and an A flat. So DFA is the triad, and if you add the flats from the key signature, it's a D flat major chord, and it's in root position because the bass note is D flat on both the chords, and then
So you say triad, not triad. Triad. Go ahead.
right, you're right, and then what did I say? What did I say? I meant G flat. I meant G flat. The second chords are G flat chords. They have the G flat in the bass, and then it goes D flat, and you have another G flat up in the octave, and a B flat. So GBD is the triad for that, and since it's the root is G, that's in root position as well.
When you say that, spell the chord as the notes are written. So you saying GBD, right? But say G flat, B flat, D flat, right? That's the chords there, right?
Understood.
So spell it like that. You're doing good though. Keep going.
Okay. In the second measure, there's a
Now,
whole
hold on. Before you go on, why? How do you know that that's the four chord?
because G flat is the four with D flat. If you climb up the scale, D, E, F, G, that's the fourth. That's the fourth note when
Scale
D
degree.
is
Say
the
scale degree. Say that.
degree.
Right.
The,
Now, how do you know that's a perfect? How do you know that's a major four chord?
because in the major scale, the fourth chord is a perfect fourth, which means it's exactly every note is exactly four scale degrees up.
You're right, but why? But how do you know that it's not modal mixture? How you know that's not a minor four?
Because the key signature is D flat major, and so the fourth chord is going to be major automatically. There's no accidentals that show that any of the notes would be different.
So explain to me in that chord, in the structure, in the building of it, why? How you know that that's a major chord?
Oh, okay. So the D flat, the no, the B flats up here in the top is the third of the G flat, and it's a major third. And if you stack the D flat on top of that, the D flat from a B flat is a minor third, and that's how you build a major chord is a major third plus a minor third stacked on top of it.
That is correct. But now tell me, like, how do you know from G flat to B flat is a major third?
Because in a major scale, the third scale degree is two whole steps from the tonic.
Don't say two whole steps.
Or
I
two,
taught you a simple way to look at it. I said think of the key of the what?
the key of the tonic,
Or the note on the bottom of that chord, right?
right?
Because technically the tonic in this situation is D flat, right? But
Okay,
in this chord, the root of that chord, which is the note on the bottom, is G flat, right?
right.
So using that terminology, explain to me how you know that that's a major third.
Okay.
You have the answer. Just not using the words that I showed you to use.
The root of the chord is G flat,
Right? Take it home. Come on.
and so a major third from G flat is B flat
That's correct. Why?
because
In the
in the key of D flat,
no.
no,
In the key of the note on the bottom, which is
the key of G flat,
there you go.
B is flat.
Thank you.
Okay. Ah, okay.
Good job.
In the key of G, I remember now. I'm sorry. Um,
It's
all
fine.
right.
Fine. I'm teaching you. I'm showing you. I'm making you answer the questions as you go along with it. So you're doing good. Go ahead. Next one.
Understood. Okay, so in the second measure,
Is this the
the
first time you've done a presentation like this?
yes.
Okay. I thought so. See, that's why so I'm teaching you while I'm making you show me that you know what we went over in the class. Go ahead.
Okay. So in the second measure, the first chord is the same as the previous chord in that measure. It's the one chord in root position with the D flats in the octave and then the F and the A flat. And then because there's a whole note and a half notes, this note is these eighth notes are tied, and so they create a minor second. Well, a minor, it's the two chord in, how do I put this? The minor seventh of the two chord in D flat. The two chord is E flat. So using D flat still as the root, and well, D flat as the root, and then having the E flat and the G flat, the chord structure would be E flat, G flat, and there's no B flat, but there is the D flat, which is the seventh of E flat. So we'll make it a seventh chord, and it's in third inversion, which is why I have 4-2. So that is a E flat 7 chord, and then
Oh, so you're saying it's the E flat 7 chord with the fifth omitted.
with the fifth omitted, yes.
Okay, so now let me ask you this. So
Okay.
I give you that. Okay. One could argue that that's that. Um, so if you look at that way, why are you looking at it to call it the two?
Because it's
Because you said this the key signature for this is what again? Is D
it's
flat.
D flat. The key signature is D flat.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, the
And
key
that
signature.
makes sense. Okay. All right. That's fine.
And then the third chord in the measure is just another D flat chord, except for there's a there's an A flat in the bass. There's an A flat in the root. So that's in second. It's the second inversion because the fifth of the D flat chord is A flat, and
Actually, look closely at that though.
okay.
Is that A the base?
No, it's not. So if this is a whole note, I've
Right.
actually messed that up. This is actually in root position. Well, this is a D flat major chord in root position then, which is the one chord. And then this third measure mirrors the first measure exactly in the note
Right.
structure. And then the same with the fourth and the second, the
What did
fourth.
you do to you uploaded it to you wrote it out like this and then you uploaded it to your computer?
Yes.
Good job.
And so yeah, this mirrors the
Second.
second measure, and I actually had got it right on this one, so I don't.
Exactly.
And then in
You could
this measure,
actually what you if you didn't want to look at those that G and that E, that G flat and the E flat as chord tones, right? You could look
Right
at
there.
those as I believe neighboring tone, no, passing tones, if you wanted to, because they're approached by step and left by step. But
Uh,
I mean, but that's fine. What you did is fine,
okay.
especially
That,
since this is the first time. Good job.
that makes sense.
Continue.
Okay. So in this measure, excuse me, in the fifth measure, the B flat chord is once again shown with the B flat in the bass and the octave, and then the A flat, the F and the A flat, and it goes up to the four with the G flat in the bass. So it's G flat, B flat, D flat, and there's a wait a minute. Oh, there's another B flat. So the third is parallel. No, that's not what that's called. It's double. The third is double in this chord, and then this chord is an F chord, but it's an F major seven. The third scale degree of the D flat scale would normally be minor, so they have an accidental turning this into a major chord because it has F, A, and then it's got E and E flat and C. So the E flat would be the seventh, the dominant seventh of that the F major chord, which is why I have it as the three chord with a seven.
Now,
The okay,
you want me to mess you up real quick?
go for it because I wasn't sure about this.
Remember when we talked about secondary dominance?
Yes,
That's actually a secondary dominant. Now, what you called it was a major three, right?
right.
Now, if you look at it in the key signature, right? You could say it's modal mixture, and you could say it's major three, but what tells the is the fact that you got that E flat up there. That minor seventh shows you got a major chord with a minor seventh from the root. What's that a formula for?
That's the dominant. That's the secondary dominant.
Exactly. Secondary dominant of what?
F is the secondary dominant of a C chord, which would
No.
be of
Secondary dominant of C will be a G.
oh the secondary dominant of the one.
No. What
No.
is F the five? What is F the dominant for?
Oh, B flat.
And what does it resolve to?
It resolves to the sixth, which is B flat.
Ooh.
So this is the secondary dominant of the sixth.
So it's a five of six
It's a
resolving to
five or
six.
six. And I fixed that in this one, but I this is an old picture. I have fixed this in the next one, but anyway, we'll get to this in a moment. I'll say it differently than it looks on the paper. That I uploaded the wrong picture. But I did miss this one, which is the secondary dominant of the six, which the next chord in the sixth measure is a B flat minor chord because it
Right.
has B flat, F, and D flat. No, yeah, B flat, F, and D flat. So we'd actually be structured B flat, D flat, F, and but it's still in root position because the root is B flat. And then this is the secondary dominant of the five, which is A flat. So this is actually an E flat major seven
So explain why you feel like that's a E flat major seven.
because the E flat is in the bass and then the D flat makes the seven, but they have a natural G So the third of E flat in the scale of D flat would normally be G flat, and it would make an E flat minor chord. But the G is natural, so it raises the tone.
So now here's my question.
Okay.
Scroll up a little tiny bit. Stop.
Okay.
Because that's technically the same chord as what you saw earlier, the E flat, G, D flat, right? Except
Right.
the bass was in the seventh was in the bass.
Right.
So why do you look at it as a major two here, and you look at it as a minor two there?
Well, the G is flat because in the key of
Okay.
D flat, G is flat.
Good, good, good job. All right, let's go back down. So now you said since this is major, you calling that
I wrote it wrong, but it's actually the five of the five. So it's the five of A flat because it resolves
five
to
of
the A
five
flat.
resolving to five.
Say it again.
You said so. You said it's a five of five resolving to five.
Yes, the five of five resolving to the A flat chord, which is the
Well,
five.
where's the one that you? Where's the one that you did it correctly on? Where's that?
Well, it's the same paper, but when I was doing the next song, I erased it and did this because I caught it in the next song. And I mean, if you want, I could take a picture of it, but that's the only change that I made in this whole paper.
Yeah, take a picture of it and send it to me.
Okay, hold on.
It's very important that you're seeing that because if you're seeing the secondary dominance, then that means that you're doing it. You're doing what needs to be done. Saying you understand what needs to be done, and that's what I need to know to make sure that you get it. You know.
Yes. Oop. And even though I corrected that, the very next chord is the same thing after the five, and I didn't correct it, but I'm still going to send you the picture. It's the one corrected. Hold on. What's your can I text it to you?
Yeah, text it.
Okay.
We looking for speed at this moment. So yeah.
That's you later. You want me to keep going now?
Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Good. 5 7 to 5, going to 5. That's good. Continue.
Okay. So this is the five. This is an A flat chord. It said it's got A flat, and then it's got the E flat, and it has the octave A flat, and then it's got the C. So it's a regular five chord in root position. This is another secondary dominant. However, I didn't correct this one, but this is the same chord as this one. Oh, wait, is it the same chord? 1 second. Um, yes. No, it's not the same. Wait a minute.
What's the difference?
This chord has a B flat in it.
So the fifth is not omitted. It's the same chord. Just the fifth is not.
Oh, okay, yes. So it does have the fifth. That's why I was caught up
So
because
it's
this
still a
one.
5 of 5.
Right. This is the 5 of 5, and it does resolve to the 5 in the next.
So what you could do is call this a tonicization, right? So you could draw a line, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you could write, you could put this all over 5, right? So you put a 5 direct, you put a 5, then you draw a giant line on top of it, and then you could go 5, 7 to 1, 5, 7,
I see
back
what
to
you're saying.
1, right? And
Okay.
now that's your tonicization. You're tonicizing 5 right there.
Got you. So this whole little part right there.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. The this chord is the A flat, so it's another
Right, that's
five
a
chord.
standard 5.
Right. This chord is the 4. Now I actually had issues with this because I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure, but I wrote what I thought it was, which was a 4 with a sus2 in it. Because you've got your A flat, then you got your D flat, and then you've got your G flats and your B flat. And so the G D G flat D flat B flat is the chord that I found within that, but then the A flat is the 2 of of G flat. So I feel like it would be a sus, but that's in the bass. So I was confused about that one. Well, I wouldn't know how to write it in the inversion because it's got the 2 in the bass, unless it be classified as a different chord entirely.
Could be classified as a different chord entirely. What chord could it be?
So if it's G flat, B flat, D flat, and A flat,
Between G flat and A is what?
between G flat and A is G and an A flat.
No, I'm saying, like, what's the difference between G flat and A?
Oh, the difference between it's a minor third or a minor sec.
Go from G flat up to A.
Is an augmented second.
G,
Well, it's
actually, I
A flat. It's A flat.
said it wrong way. I'm sorry. That's me. That's my fault. It's, I'm thinking it could be looked at as a French augmented 6. And I might be, let me see, I might be looking at it the wrong way. G flat is a regular chord, and
It's got the A flat in the bass.
it's a very interesting chord. So you're just saying that. So what's the suspension for?
Well, because it has the second note in there. Well, it's not suspended then, it's just added. So then would it be a 9?
So I think it would be a 9 chord. I think it'd be better off looking at it as a 9. Um,
Well, how would I write that inversion if it was a 9 of before?
See, the issue is you don't know if that 7 is a major, minor, or diminished seventh, and that tells you the quality of the chord. And that's the rough part with that. So I can see you going and calling this a four, uh, maybe a four or 4/9 with that end being in the bass. That's very interesting. That's a good one. I had to look deeper at this piece. I can't just look at it and just tell. I have to look deeper at it to give you a correct answer on it. But I have it for you tomorrow.
It sounds good on the piano. I tell you that. I put it next to the next chord, and I was like, oh, okay. I could see how it sounded, and I'm like, okay, I see why they would do it like that.
Right.
That's why
No,
I called it a sus because I played it on the piano.
it's just a matter of theory wise, what do you call that? But go ahead, finish what you're saying.
Okay. So then this next chord is B5 for um, it's a dominant seventh in third inversion because it's got the G flat in the bass and the five of D flat is A flat. So it goes A flat and then you got your well no it goes E flat. Well no. The A flat is up here. The A flat is up here, then you have your C, then you have your E flat down here, but the G flat is in the bass. So it's a dominant seven, but in third inversion.
Okay.
This is a one. It's the D flat chord in first inversion because the F is in the bass.
You don't have to put the three under there, just do 1/6.
Six,
Yeah.
and then for the other one is 6/4. Okay, and then I guess I I connected that to this chord because these notes are still playing, so this would still be the one, but it goes to a D flat, so it would be in first. It'd be a
Position.
reposition.
Yeah.
Then this is another five chord in third inversion, but the A flat is well, no, the G flat is down here, like in the very bottom. So it's got the G flat, it's got the E flat, and the A flat and the C. And I kind of just passed this off as a passing tone,
Yeah.
and I did the same for this one because it was tied to that. I don't know. It looked funny to me. Was that right to do that?
That's fine. Yeah. No,
Okay.
no. Okay.
And then this is the four chord, which is G, which is G flat, but it's in first inversion because the B, the the B flat is in the bass. You got your B flat and your D flat and your G flat and your B flat. And then another one chord, this root position. This is the same phrase as the previous ones in the first couple of measures. And then it goes to a four chord in root position because the G flat is in the bass. So it's G flat and B flat. And then it's got your D flat and your B flat again. So the B flat's doubled. This is the five chord in root position because your A flat is in the bass. A flat, C, um, E flat, and A flat. This chord, let me see something real quick. This chord threw me off a little bit as well. It's a diminished seventh chord, so it could be like three different chords come in. But since it's played with the natural, what's this? The A natural. I don't know why I considered it a 2. If it's got the A natural in the bass, because it is a diminished chord. It's a diminished 7th chord. There goes A natural, C, E flat, and G flat. So really, I think it's because of the accidental. I think it's because of the accidental, because the 2 would be B flat, and hold on, I can't remember how I looked at this. So you got your A natural and your C, and your E flat, and your G flat. I feel like that would actually be
That is a fully diminished 7th chord.
right.
But why you got 4-3? And the bass is in the bass is in the bass is
That's
the root is in the bass. So why you got the 4-3 then?
that's what I'm saying. So I think it's because the accidental threw me off, because it would be the 5 of D flat is A flat, and then so since it's an A natural, it's like the bass is augmented.
Nah, it's a fully diminished 7th chord, but of what?
If the bass is A natural isn't in the D flat scale, and that's why it threw me off as to
You
what you
got
would call this, because it
C
is the
natural,
fifth, right?
A,
C
C
natural.
natural, E flat, and G flat.
If I was doing this the way that I was looking at it, I guess I was looking at it on the piano in a way that the E flat will be the root.
Oh wow. I think you'd be
But
doing a bit much by doing that. Because if we look at the E flat as a root, that would make um that would make that I think you'd be doing too much. Because if the E flat is a root, how would you spell it things and how would you spell this in thirds? The E
the
be G, and then
flat
after the
G.
G is C and A. That won't work.
Ah, you're right. You're right. So I should look at it A C E G. That's how I was looking at it. It's a fully diminished 7th, but then what would you call it? Because the fifth, the D flat is A flat.
It's 7 of uh of 5. No, not a 5. Because
Because
5
this
is
would be
A
the
flat.
5, but they
Fully diminished 7 of of B flat.
of D flat? No, B flat
Of B flat. Because a half step up from A is what?
is B flat.
Flat.
So that how you consider that? Why is that?
It's a diminished 7 chord, right?
Right, it's a diminished 7th chord.
It's a fully diminished 7 chord. So in the key of B flat, A is natural.
Right,
But the E is flat.
right.
So I would look at this as a fully diminished 7 of B flat. And B flat in this key is a what?
Is the 6th.
So fully diminished 7 of 6. Does it go to 6?
I think it resolves to 6. It should resolve. Yes, it resolves to 6.
So there you go. Fully diminished 7 of 6, resolving the 6.
Okay,
Now,
so
if it didn't resolve the 6, then we had to be like, oh, that ain't right. What is it?
got you.
But you could argue that that's what this is because it resolves to 6.
Got you. So I would write that as the
You would like
lowercase d.
you would go fully diminished 7, get rid of the 5-4. I mean the 4-3, excuse me. You would erase the 4-3, you
Right,
put
and I'll
7
write a
here, and then
lowercase d.
you would put just listen, you would take
Okay.
you erase the 4-3, You will put a 7 in its place. You will put a line under the 2, and you will put a 6, and then you will put the 6 underneath there. And that's basically saying you use a fully diminished 7 chord. It's a 2 diminished 7. It's a 2 fully diminished 7 chord of 6 resolving to 6. That is a tonicization as well. Remember when I showed you to one over in class, you can have dominant. You have dominant tonicization. You can also have leading chord tonicization. That's a way of modulation.
That's that's crazy. I'm gonna have to. Hold on, let me get the paper real quick. So, then, but so would it still be 2 if it was a diminished 7 for 6?
Nah, you would have to go. You would have to do. You would have to look at that as a 7.
Oh, okay, 7. So I put a V before the II.
So I would go ahead and make that a 7, diminished 7 of 6.
Oh, okay, I like that. Gotcha. All right. Well, that resolves to the 6, which is in U position because it had the B flat in the bass. It's B flat, D flat, and then F. And then this moves. Did I consider this? Hold on. Let me check. Let me see if I did. So you have your E flat, your A natural, then you got your D flat and your G flat.
See, the way that'll help you, you write this stuff out. So I got my E flat. I put my E flat on the paper.
Oh, yeah, I have it on the screen.
I got an A natural, so I put that on the paper. And then I got the D flat, and then I got a B flat. Then I arrange it in thirds: B flat, D flat. Now you have an issue
What's the issue?
because it doesn't fit in thirds, does it?
It's a D flat to the no, because it's a G flat. So
Now you
E,
can look at that. You can look at that.
there's nowhere that there's a third.
No, no, it does because you got that G flat. So you got the G flat, G flat, D flat, G flat.
Ah, E flat, E flat.
Oh no, wait. B flat, G flat, and then you got your D flat and your A. Gotcha.
So it's diminished. Wait. So that means that it will be a E flat chord. It'd be an E flat minor chord with a diminished fifth.
Or you can interpret it as your well, yeah, you will probably. Well, how would you say a diminished fifth?
They because of the E flat and the G flat. Well, but the A wouldn't be considered a fifth because it says A. It said B double flat, but it says A. So
I'm about to say that A is a fourth.
because everything else fits. That's the only thing.
Well, that D flat don't fit.
It fits as a seventh, as a dominant seventh, the E flat, if the A wasn't there. If the A wasn't there, it would be a E flat minor
I
seventh.
mean, you could, yes, and you could look at that. It's kind of hard to say that A in chord.
I might have looked at it without the D flat. Let me see here. Oh no, I have to finish that. But if I consider this a passing tone, then would it work? Or
Uh,
no, because then it would still be D flat, A, and E flat.
Interesting. I had to look back at that one. I had to look at that one a little bit later. That's a very interesting chord right there.
Okay. Well, the rest is simple. Um, you got your one, and it's in second inversion, and then you have it again because the A flat is in the bass, and the A flat is the fifth of D flat, so that will put it in second inversion. And then you have your B flat minor, which is in root position because the B flat is in the bass, and it's B flat, F, and D flat. And then you have that same chord again that we just looked at. And I wrote it this way, but I don't remember why. But after that chord, there's your um oh my god. I'm sorry. There's your one chord again in second inversion, which then brings you to your five chord, and it's in first inversion. I mean, it's in root position. I'm sorry, because the A flat is the five of D flat, and you have an A flat in the octave, and C and E flat, and then it ends with your D flat chord in root position.
Very good, sir. Very good.
And that is we shall overcome.
All right. I will get back to you on an analysis of those two chords because it's very interesting. A little bit later when I have a chance to actually sit down and look, because I'm just going off of just what you sent. So I'll sit down and go through this and analyze it myself, and then I can have a better answer for you. That's a good question. All right, move on to the next presentation.
Okay. Yes. You pull it up. Mm, where is it? There it is.
Hold on.